In this video I will be factorising and solving two quadratic equations. Both equations have the coefficient of x squared being greater than 1, and they'll be solved without using the quadratic formula. Clearly you can use the quadratic formula for any quadratic equation, but you should really only use it if the question stipulates to use it, or if the question asks for the answer to a certain number of significant figures or decimal places. That will be your hint that it needs to be solved with the quadratic formula. With this question, we've got 2x squared minus x minus 6 equals 0, and we're asked to solve. Now, the first part will be factorisation, so I will need to turn the quadratic into two brackets multiplied together to give me 0. Looking at the first term, I have 2x squared, so the only factors of 2x squared that I can use will be 2x and x. So my first terms will be 2x and x, because when they multiply they give me 2x squared. That's easy. Then I've got negative 6 here, so I want numbers that multiply together to give me negative 6. There's quite a few. It could be negative 6 and 1. It could be 6 and negative 1. It could be negative 3 and 2, or it could be 3 and negative 2. But because I don't just have x as the first term, I have 2x and x here. These are different. These terms could also be in the other order. They could be swapped around. So I could have 1 followed by negative 6, or I could have negative 1 with 6, 2 with negative 3, and negative 2 with 3. So there's actually 8 different pairs of numbers, one of which will be the right solution to go into these spaces here. Now, if this was an exam question, the majority of exam questions will have factors which are the closest together. So I'm going to focus on the 2 and the 3, not on the 6 and the 1. It doesn't always work, but the majority of the times it's going to be one of these. Eventually, after having practiced lots and lots and lots of these questions, you can pretty much pick out which pair it's going to be fairly quickly. But let's say under the stress of the exam, I really don't know which ones it'll be. Then I need to just try them. I need to just take the numbers one at a time and put them in. So I'm going to start with this one here at the bottom right. I'm going to go minus 2 and 3, put them in that order. So I'm going to put negative 2, I'll do it in blue just to highlight them, negative 2 and plus 3. Now I need to work out my x terms if I expand it. So I'm going to have negative 2 times x, well that's negative 2x. And I'm going to have 2x times 3, which is 6x. And minus 2x plus 6x does not equal negative x. That's my term here, that's what I'm trying to get. So it's not that pair. So I can cross that one out. Let's try another pair. So let me just cross these out, delete these, and we'll try another pair. Let's try the one above. Let's go 2 and negative 3. So I go plus 2 and negative 3. This time I have 2 times x, which is positive 2x, so 2x. And then I have 2x times negative 3, which is negative 6x, which again does not equal negative x. So those numbers are no good. So I'll try another pair. Just delete these on here, if I can. There we go. And we'll try another one. We'll stick with the low numbers. So we're going to go for 3 and negative 2, the ones that are closest together. So I've got plus 3 and minus 2. This time I have 3 times x, which is 3x. And then I have 2x times negative 2, which is negative 4x. And that does equal negative x. So that must be the pair, and that must be my factorised expression. Now, to finish off the question says solve, didn't say factorise. I need to put both of my brackets equal to 0, because if you have two things multiplied that make 0, one or both of them will equal 0. So the first bracket here, I've got 2x plus 3 equals 0, so 2x equals negative 3. X equals negative 3 over 2. And the one on the right here, I have x minus 2 equals 0, so x equals 2. So my solutions are negative 3 over 2 or 2. In this second question, we've got solve 5x squared minus 16x plus 3 equals 0. Again, we're going to do it by factorization first. So I'm going to have two brackets which will equal 0. My first term is 5x squared. So my terms in my brackets must be 5x and x. So the only two factors that I can use. They will multiply to give me 5x squared. Now, the number at the back here is positive 3. So I want two things that multiply to give me positive 3. But notice, in the middle here, I have negative 16. So to end up with minuses in this middle bit here, both of my factors of 3 must be negative. So I can discount 1 and 3 and 1. Remember, the order will be important. So the only two I need to try will be minus 3, 1, and minus 1, sorry, or minus 1 and minus 3. That's what it is. So I'm going to try the first one. I'll do it in blue. So I've got 5x minus 3, x minus 1. Now, minus 3 times x is minus 3x. And 5x times minus 1 is minus 5x. And that does not equal negative 16x. Remember, I'm trying to get this term here. So clearly it's not that one. So hopefully it should be the other one. So I'll just erase this and put my numbers in. So it's negative 1 here and negative 3 here. So let's see, minus 1 times x is going to be negative x. And then 5x times negative 3 will be negative 15x, which does equal negative 16x. So that is my factorization done. Then, as before, I take each bracket and I put it equal to 0 because I have two things multiplied to equal 0. So my 5x minus 1 equals 0, 5x equals 1, x equals 1/5. And in the other one, we've got x minus 3 equals 0, so x will equal 3. And those are my two solutions.